My cousins, friends, tennis partners, dog walkers said this thing worked. Over the last 20 odd years in the fitness industry, I've heard probably every approach to changing our eating, every diet, every method of restriction or food adjustment that you could possibly think of. And in a fairly high proportion of the cases, the people telling me about them will have a justification of it working. And it may be their own experience with it, but often it's that they've heard that it works from someone they know. And it's all a little bit vague. And that doesn't mean that person hasn't achieved results, but when you've got vagueness there, it's really hard to identify if that one specific variable or approach is what caused the progress. So people will say, my friend cut out bread and lost loads of weight. But that friend potentially made various other adjustments to their food, was just conscious of how much they were eating, reduced portion size, maybe we're drinking a little bit less, probably exercising a little bit more. There was no control over that one specific variable. It's like someone conducting an experiment where they're testing for one thing, but all the other things change constantly. It wouldn't produce fair results. So what I've always aimed to do is to understand what works, what happens, what has been shown to be the case in controlled test situations. And I fully understand our lives aren't like that, but it does help us understand essentially, as I said yesterday, those boxes that need to be ticked, the variables that need to be controlled, the principles that need to occur. And we can then choose our method for making that happen, but not forgetting those principles. So I've mentioned it 1,000 times. All the research ever done where we're in controlled plus or minus 20 calories a day in and out, verified energy balance, everyone ever tested has lost weight at very similar rates. No one ever in that situation has been shown to not lose weight when in a calorie deficit or to gain weight when not in calorie surplus. So whatever our method of eating is, if we're losing or gaining weight, it has to be underpinned by that deficit or that maintenance, or surplus if we're gaining. And knowing that is powerful. We can choose our method. We can choose it for convenience. We can choose it for preference. We can choose it for logistics. We can choose it for cost implications. We can choose it for ease of following. But we need to remember the reason that it's occurring. So if your friends, cousins, tennis partners, dog walker, etc. says this thing worked, there's a reason it worked. If they say it enabled them to lose weight without having to get in a calorie deficit, then unless they can prove that in a laboratory situation, they're wrong. It would require a rewriting of the law of physics. So again, whatever we hear about a way to approach our eating, it's great. It might be a method that works for us. I'm not beholden to any one particular method. It's about finding one that works for you, but understanding why it works and what is actually occurring in the body for it to work.